Ja works in different ways. Nothing, as we say, nothing for us without us. We also believe it's our bigger mission to give voice to the people. And the bigger problem in Mozambique as the peasant people, the rural people don't have a voice. They can step in, take the land, and nothing is done. So we support them on their struggle and support them to have voice and raise their voice to explain what they want. We're coming to the point that rural area is being grabbed for mega projects, foreign investments, and more the people are losing their livelihood. The livelihood is very important. The subsistence farming, the small ways they get the food to feed the kids, the sea to fish, and that is being taken from them. As you saw yesterday, there was a mining on every sense. They took the land of the people and they're polluting the land because it doesn't only came to take. They didn't do fair compensation. They lost everything they have and they stay with nothing. Their livelihood is to grow crops that eat, is to fish, and that when that is destroyed, they don't have nothing to survive. And you see every time you come here, how they complain about. And we try to help them to raise their voice, to learn how to say no. When the next project comes, they have the right by a constitution to don't go out of the land. So they learn and understanding the concept, they have the right to say no. And you need to raise that right, not only in Mozambique, but all over. We are in Chibuto, on the surroundings of Chibuto, and we are with the communities affected by the burst of a dam of waste from mining ever since.
Cada do projeto tinha residências aqui.
Before the project arrived, there's a lot of
Como se pode
houses.
ver aqui?
They are already approving a project, and they are already giving conditions to the investors without thinking that maybe the environmental impact assessors not approve the project. Maybe the people don't want to leave their lands; they have the right. So it's quite strange the way things are done, and it's against the law. The law says first environmental impact assessment, first the communities have to approve they will leave their land. There's no problem, they will give the land to the investors for something in return. We don't sell the land, but it's like a compensation process. And without that, a project cannot move. But the project moves, and then the things are pushing and stampede without any considerations of human rights, environmental.
Estamos aqui com os representantes dos bairros afetados, de facto, para colocarmos aquilo que são, ou mostrarmos aquilo que é, neste caso, o nosso descontentamento da população em relação ao tratamento que a empresa tem dado aos populares, neste caso. Não somos entidades competentes para dialogar tanto com o governo ou correr com os processos nos tribunais, porque não conhecemos quais são as regras. Então, quando aparece alguém como Justiça Ambiental, neste caso, é para nos mostrar o caminho, nos indicar as direções. Onde estivermos a falar, vão nos orientar. Onde, de facto, se calhar nós estamos a exigir aquilo que são os nossos direitos, também vão começar, vão nos orientar para que possamos, de facto, exigir os nossos direitos de forma ordeia.
Eu sou Roberto Francisco Mchanga, residente deste bairro, um dos elementos afetados pela mina. A preocupação é vasta, a preocupação é muito longa. Quero dizer concretamente, é o mau comportamento da empresa, como também posso dizer na parte dos membros do governo. Porque quando a empresa chegou, reaveu os nossos haveres, prometeu nos pagar os valores devidamente. Mas o que nós estamos a ver agora neste momento eu posso dizer que aquilo ali é uma tortura, posso dizer assim, porque epá, é uma tortura porque não há nada que se cumpra, não há nada que se faz. Essa água, já falamos com eles para poderem pôr tubos, para fazerem cova lá, conforme eles tinham prometido, cavar 5 metros para enterrar aquela água. Mas estão a espalhar a água. Esta água vai nos prejudicar. Neste momento que estou a falar, essa água está já nas proximidades das nossas machambas. Vai penetrar. E além disto, a água está espalhada lá para o rio Xangane. Está a alagar as nossas machambas. Depois da nossa machamba vai entrar naquele rio. Toda a água, todos os peixes que estão lá vão ser contaminados por esta água que não sabemos qual é o produto químico que tem lá. O que é que vai ser o nosso amanhã?
The water comes from a mining of heavy sands, a few minerals extractions, and the accident of the dam of the waste blow up and brought floods and mud all over, destroying all the communities' crops and cattle, and actually destroying the land because they cannot cultivate anymore. Now they build this channel, but again, this channel goes and release the water where you can see down there cattle and where the communities grow their crops. And the rice, they say they can't manage anymore to grow, so they don't know what it's contaminated, what this type of water is. And worse is that if when the flood comes, flood seasons and rain, this is going to be all pushed all over. They now did this channel to prevent what happened, the blow up, but the channel is doing every day, because the mining works nearly 24 hours, every day the release of contaminated water. And we don't know what it is because the government didn't allow us to take tests. We asked 3 or 4 times, and then we asked them if we can't take, is not legally, then please take the test and inform the civil society and the community. They said they can't afford, they don't have capacity for it. And it's not that expensive. We are here with the peasant women of the project that was stopped, at least the expansion of the rice project. They had a struggle for many years because the space was shrinking and the company was taking more and more of their land, and then they got together and they fight to maintain their crops, their land to do their crops. And we are in this space that they managed to maintain until today. So they're mostly women. This is an area, a lot of widows, and many of the men go to South Africa to work, and they end up being alone with the kids. Yeah. So they create this movement, and they maintain their livelihoods. And then when we came, and when we start supporting and coming, every place they go, whatever march or demonstration they do here, yeah, we went to meetings with the government, with the company, and then when slowly things start changing. Even if they get back the land and then avoid some of the land, and they avoid the expansion of the project, the Chinese have done a lot to the land in this period of struggle. They open channels, they use a lot of chemicals, and the land is not the same anymore. And they've been struggling since then to see how they can change this scenario. We are at the park, the Maputo reserve area, with amazing ecosystems, a mix with marine ecosystems, land, wetlands, with more than 300 species of birds, very amazing fauna, and coral reefs that don't have any more in this part of the South. This reserve goes further the borders to South Africa and is a very important ecosystem to protect and to minimize the climate changes. The government of Mozambique, together with Zimbabwe and Botswana want to build a port in Tekobanin in the middle of the reserve. That port is just to bring coal from Botswana and Zimbabwe. And the reasons they say it's to decrease the pollution on Maputo port. It's completely ridiculous, the idea of stopping pollution in Maputo port when they should fix and minimize the impacts and go and do pollution in an area so important as this, to Mozambique and to the old world. Also, one thing that's very important in this area is the tourism that employs many, many people. And the tourism is a type of employment that don't break their livelihoods, because they can still work on the tourism and have their crops and do their own things. As if a port comes here, all that will be destroyed. Even their own land and livelihoods they have until now. No one wants to be sitting in an amazing beach, seeing a port with coal and all the pollution. It will be the destruction of all this ecosystem and even the tourism.